Awesome. So yeah, evening all. Welcome to the second AGM for the OARC. Tonight's going to split into two parts. The first part is the AGM. Second part is the community planning night. The AGM should be relatively short and sweet. We need to hold one. Hopefully you can see my screen. You need to hold one every year, and the purpose of it is threefold: to review the group's aims and terms of reference, to allow the community representatives to reaffirm that they wish to continue in the role that they're doing, and to allow those individuals who hold liabilities for the community to present a summary of the liabilities. So first and foremost is a brief review of the aims and terms of reference for the community. I'll just open it up to the floor. Does anyone think we have any, or does anyone have any comment on that, really? No.
There were some things for update and approval on the wiki, but I can't remember if we did them last year or whether we're going to look at them this year.
I think it's just that it needs someone to take an action to do it. So if someone who's sufficiently motivated to push the changes just gets it put as a vote. Okay, so anyone who wants to look at the community, the changes in the constitution on the wiki, either now here or watching this as a recording, can nominate themselves in the community development channel, and you're very welcome to push those forwards. Otherwise, the constitution will remain as is. So everyone's happy with that. Okay, second item on the agenda, we're burning, is confirmation of continued will to serve by community representatives. So this time round, I'm going to be passing on our thanks to Lee, who is call sign GW5JHE. He's been very early days, and especially at the start of the year, was very involved in helping out, but unfortunately work and real life is taking over at the moment. So he's going to be taking a break. But every other community representative has affirmed that they're happy to continue in the role. As always, the community representative role is one where you nominate yourself to the community rep. So if anyone else wants to be involved, they just have to have been on the server for 30 days, and they need to speak to one of the community representatives. The proposal for you to be involved will be put to the community, and as long as no significant objections are received, then you'll be put into the post. It's completely open to any member. That takes us to the third agenda item. Third agenda item, review of community liabilities. I already published the financial data for the year. It's available on Discord, and it'll be linked in the details below. Just to confirm, at the end of the financial year, which runs May to April, our balance was £2,496.36. In total, we received £1,827 income. The majority of that came from training courses, a relatively decent chunk from donations, some regular, some ad hoc, following people's success in exams. Our outgoings are relatively small. We had 2 Zoom accounts for the year. We've now dropped down to just one. So we spent 280 quid on Zoom. We ordered QSL cards for our special event stations. We have a substantial amount of credit still to be able to call those off. We had our hosting costs for our cloud server that runs the website, the wiki, the bots that host Discord and various other things. And we have our annual RSGB membership, which includes our public liability insurance. We had some training software, which we use for interaction during the quizzes. We had a £20 voucher for the Christmas quiz, and there were a number of refunds where people paid for a course which they were eligible to join for free. So our net outgoings was £600.41p. and the full breakdown of every transaction, anonymized to protect the individual, but every line is available for you if you want it. I've already mentioned our liabilities for the RSGB membership, which is already pre-approved to be renewed. It'll be renewed in July. And VVox and Zoom, which are the financial arrangements, are that every bit of money that the training team bring in, they nominate what they don't use to the club as a whole. And VVox and Zoom are taken from the pot before the rest is nominated to the community. So they're just renewed as and when the training team need it. VVox, I believe, is in August, and Zoom, I don't think, is till February.
And just to confirm that the QSL cards do exist.
Yeah, I've seen one. I got one the other day. Yeah. Awesome.
So if there's any other, I think we still got over a couple of hundred credits. So
yeah,
the other events we can still, it was cheaper to buy them that way.
Did you ever receive any back?
I don't know. Let's just.
I haven't put my envelopes in yet. But
be good if we did. So we've got next up is a community night where we'll discuss kind of the more interesting stuff, but specifically with regards to the annual general meeting and the scope of the meeting is defined on the agenda. Is there any other business?
This is KF4BOG here with a question for the president of the organization.
We don't have.
Well,
which one?
We don't have. We're a collective, so everyone
okay.
is.
We're like the Borg.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, this is Michael, KF4BOG, Special Needs Liaison for Madison County Aries in Huntsville, Alabama.
Yeah.
And I was on your website the other day, just browsing around, and I've been trying to get a SIP account set up with your service. And last few days ago, the registrations have been suspended or halted. Yeah. And they told me that registrations would be either back online, terminate, basically the people that were already registered would keep their services, but anybody new would not be able to register until a later date.
Okay. Can I get a hold of it? It is back online. Can I get hold of you after on the Discord server and we'll sort that out?
Yes. I am on the Discord server there. You should see me in the registration there, and I'll be happy to get in touch with you. I will be going out later tonight, my time, at about 5 o'clock. Let me give you my Ham Shack hotline extensions, as I am on there.
Just look out for a DM from me.
Everything's managed within Discord, so this doesn't directly relate to the business.
It might be I haven't updated that page on the website, but
I'll leave you to. Thank you, Paul, for offering.
Thank you.
That's fine.
Thank you so much.
Any questions relating to the business before we close it? Okay, so that's the end of the AGM. That was nice and easy. And now on to the more interesting stuff, which is the community planning night, which doesn't have an agenda. So yeah, as Paul mentioned, cheers, Jez, he's running off. As Paul mentioned to me earlier, tomorrow is our 2nd anniversary as a community. So it doesn't feel like it, but it's been 2 years. So I thought it might be nice just to pull together. We said this really early days, we'd love to share what we're doing with Radcom. And quite rightly at the time, someone said, hang on until we've got something to share. And I think we're at that stage now where we've got something to share. So I'm really keen to suggest that we put together an article for Radcom of what we've been doing for the last 2 years, specifically the successes in the last 2 years, and perhaps what we're doing in future. It's probably going to be something that we manage through the wiki. But I just thought I'd start us off maybe this evening and see if people wanted to just throw some ideas off of the kind of stuff we could be sharing. I mean, the wiki is in it of itself a success. My obvious one is going to be that we won the Kenwood Trophy for training, and we've trained over 700 candidates.
Just going to say the training.
Yeah, it's an obvious one. don't know how. Do you know how many people we have, Paul, now as a group? Oh, you already got it. You're just typing it. 1,272 active accounts registered on Discord.
Minus, I think, 4 or 5 bots, but that's
Okay.
the actual figure that's giving me at the moment.
By the time that we've sent it to them, it'll be over that anyway.
It'll probably be close to 2,300.
Could be if we have some statistic on the engagement as well, because number of members versus versus engagement, maybe interesting.
I can do that. I can pull that up. We've obviously already had the SIP network mentioned tonight as something that's actively used. Got digital bridge that we had set up. What other events have we got that we've had?
I did also put a members stats page on the wiki. There was a blip where we got rid of a load of unregistered members, so that it went down. But generally, it has been growing over time, obviously.
So FT8 top band. Oh yeah, FT8 top band was the thing. What I'll probably do actually, Stu, you've just posted a load of comments on there, and I've actually got a standing page on the what's going on the website that says that we have all these special interest groups. So maybe that is mention all the special interest groups that we've got going. Sorry, someone mentioned.
Oh, the other thing is I've just spotted you're going to have to edit that page slightly. It's now Brickworks. It was Beyond Exams.
Yeah.
So if people remember, there was a thing called Beyond Exams. They've renamed it. Basically, it's the same thing in the tin, but they've rebadged it.
Yeah.
I think the self-starting nature of it as well is worth bringing out, that it's all been generated from the community. It's not a kind of a case of a committee directing. These things have sprung up from people getting together and doing it, like Mark's SOTA Activity Day. I think that's worth talking about.
Self-management. It's the collective rather than committee.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it might be worth mentioning for those that are new here. We don't have a committee as a normal thing. We have reps who run the server and a few other like website wiki things, but we are as much a member as anyone who is on a call tonight or who joins the server. As soon as you get past our server sign up, you're a member. Doesn't matter whether you've got a call sign or not. If you just want to sit there and do CB radio, just a listener, you are still as much a member as anyone else.
Yeah, and the point is that one of the big issues that clubs often have is they end up with a committee who get dumped with doing all the work that they don't particularly massively want to do. It all gets nitpicked at, and then the committee obviously only go ahead and arrange things generally that they have an interest in, which is fair enough because they're doing all the graft. So the idea was that by running as a collective, anyone who wants to propose something to do for or on behalf of the community proposes it, and they can do it, but the condition is they have to run it.
A good example is actually one of the things that Alex has done. I don't think he's here. Is the bridge alerts.
Yeah, Alex, bridge alert.
That's quite a new thing.
That's well worth highlighting because that's really useful as well.
Also, the other talk group things. I don't know if anyone spotted. You can actually add or get removed talk groups. We've put 2 on there, but it doesn't have to be stick with them 2. We got the Scottish one and ICQ podcast more as a test, but they haven't been removed.
In fact,
added to.
I know it's not the be on or end all, but one nice thing about Alex's bridge monitor is the ability for it to, because the DMR guys won't accept names that aren't on license. He's put in the ability for people who have changed the name, mainly trans members, so that their name appears correctly. So it's just one of those little diversity things. But it's nice.
The other thing is you won't see it unless you sign up to it as well.
Yeah.
So if you're watching this video and going, what the hell are they talking about?
You have to
go into self-service.
It's under self-service. There's a few things, if you scroll back through self-service, you can have a look at as well. But self-service is where you add that feature. It's not generally available unless you want it.
Yeah, so far we've got Community Wiki, Kenwood Trophy, 700 candidates, 1,200 members, the SIP network, Digital Bridge, Special Event Station, then the specialist channels, 3D printing antennas, bands, Brickworks, contesting, data modes, DigiVoice, EMF, field planning, homebrew, logging, LoRa, so on and so forth. You can read the channel names yourself. We're going to mention it self-starting nature, collective rather than committee, what that means in practical terms. Things like Alex's bridge alert. There's something going on with a DNA.
Yeah, that's quite an interesting project as well.
Then there's a whole, then for the rest of the year, we've got SOTA supporting the guys going to EMF camp. Cool. Right, I'll dip all that onto a wiki and start asking people to consider if they can contribute to it, but that's given us a great start. So let's just quickly do the what we've been up to and what's the plan for the next few months. So what we've been up to. So the full Robin's unfortunately unable to attend because he's on holiday. But I'm happy to report that the current full course is oversubscribed, as always happens. So we've just finished the intermediate course. Went reasonably well. We ended up a little bit lighter than perhaps I would have liked, but that's the nature of it. Some courses end with a ton, some end with slightly less. The full course is coming up. It's starting next week. And it's got 57 members on that. So 57 people are attending that course. Some are relooping from last time. Some are, well, a good number are progressing from intermediate. So that's about to kick off. We have published on the training website course dates for the next 12 months. So we've committed at least for another year. For providing the training in the current form. So the dates are all on the website up until July next year, I believe. Other training news on the second Thursday of June. I'm going to be meeting with the RSGB, the Scouts, in the form of Stu of all people, and two representatives of the Air Cadets, including one that leads on the Duke of Edinburgh, the member of the RSGB board who's responsible for youth engagement, and the exam quality manager for the RSGB, for the purpose of progressing a training program we've put together targeting D.V. candidates and youth in who are looking to get the foundation license. So we're hoping to tie into things like the Scouts, JOTA events, and so that's kind of one of our little outreach things. So that's going on in training. Does anyone know what's going on with SOTA? Is anyone who's going to involve?
I can talk a little bit. So Mark's got about 12 fully committed, probably 15 of us to all go up various hills. There's a wiki page and there's a map. And I think the plan is to see if we can get a 2-meter net running, getting a few people point to point. But I think we're looking for more people. I know Vic's signed up. Well done, Vic. But if anybody fancies going up a hill on the 25th of June, it doesn't matter which hill you go up. The more people we can get up there, the better. Mark kind of wants to raise the profile of the club, but also it gets people into SOTA. So if you've never done a SOTA activation, Mark's put together a lot of resources as well on how you go about it and the rules and stuff. So even if you don't come on the day, well worth reading what Mark's written, just because it might get you into it as well.
Can that be extended to HEMA?
I don't see any reason why not, because they're just different size hills, and I know some parts of the country there's not a lot of SOTA hills.
Yeah,
no, I know for a lot of people they find the HEMA easier as well than they do the SOTA. I mean, I do both.
Well, we were having a discussion about accessibility. I think it was going on only today about getting up hills and stuff. But yeah, stick a note in the SOTA thing around that as well. I'm pretty sure Mark could say yes.
And don't forget Maryland as well.
I can't see any reason why you'd say no, to be blunt.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I don't myself, but I just thought I'd throw it in there because everybody says SOTA, but obviously there's the other aspects of the hobby, which is HEMA, which gets very little airtime.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good idea. I mean, my view is the more of us get up there and interact and promote the club, the better, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to try it myself.
Well,
Yeah.
it prompted me. I went out and did a practice run the other day and actually activated a hill. So
It doesn't matter to any of us. You can do it on the flat plane for all we care. I think as long as we have a bit of fun, do a bit of radio, it matters not.
well, we'll come on to work.oarc in a minute.
But
Because
also,
I have an idea for how we can promote everybody getting out there.
so except for like people that will go to the hills and do the activations, like, you know, chasers are welcome as well. So if you're gonna be a chaser for this event, just register yourself and we just add you as a chaser, no problem. You know?
Yeah, I think the only reason why it's mentioned SOTA is because there's a SOTA thingy, not cluster, but there's a
Reflector.
reflector. There we go. So people who are doing it as a SOTA activation will be posting on there, but that's mostly irrelevant. It's just about getting everyone out and doing radio.
Exactly.
Also, I think the reason Mark is running it is as well to get his Beyond Exam Stroke Brickworks tick box for that as well. So don't forget, if you're doing it, you can also try and get a few. I think you have to get 10 on a SOTA for that, or 5 or 10 activation points or something.
It's probably easier to do that though than organise a SOTA activity day. Mark's put a lot of time into it.
And you can just looking. I haven't looked at the wiki page for a while, but I had a look earlier, and it's he's put a lot. And then when you go into the reflector, and it's like he's been posting it. He's done so much work on this.
Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah,
he's really promoted it well.
Yeah,
when he does something, he does it right.
Yeah, exactly. And all credit to him.
absolutely. So what's going on with the pub?
Actually, just still on that topic, and as I've just posted about it as well, before we go on to that, on the SOTA day, if you're quick enough and you want to use it, we do have the club course on as well. And in theory, you get another Brickworks point for doing a club activity. But obviously, you do have to be a full call sign holder for that. You can either have one of the regional call signs, so like M0 or MX for England, or during June you can have MQ.
Yeah,
wherever you are. So pub, yeah. So we slight change, I think, from before the last big meeting we had. We're now just every other Saturday, so first and third Saturdays. Still getting a few new faces turn up. The next one, unfortunately, me and Havoc are not going to be available directly to run it. So we will be spamming someone with the link because we're going to be in a field in the west of England. So
good
I
time.
hope you're going to try and dial in though.
We are going to try and dial in. Trust me. We are.
We are going to attempt to call in, but it is the last night, so there will be a big rave and everything going on.
We may just join
the Knoll sector.
I may just dial in whilst the rave is happening, so you lot can experience it properly.
Hey,
if you haven't been along to the pub before, I say we do post in the Rubber Duck Pub link chat. There is also a self-service thing again for that. We've probably got nearly 70 members who have signed up to that. We don't spam at here or everyone. So if you want to know that it's going on the day, you will need to join that self-service bit. We average about anywhere between around 12 to about 15 members. I think there was one a couple of months ago, it was a bit quiet, but normally it's about 12 people throughout the night. So yeah, it's still going well.
Cool.
One of the things I would say with the pub is at the moment, I'm still not moderating it as heavily as some people may feel at times. I will issue it as a, we don't have many rules on there, and it is run slightly alongside OARC. It is run by Paul as a community rep and me as not as a rep. We have put over the decision with the fault of maybe a bit more moderation, and we have rejected the fault. And the senses of
it seems to work.
It works.
The issue that drag caused that
has gone.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gone.
It's more. I'd like to make sure it's known on that effectively.
Yeah.
It's a pub, and if you don't know what to expect when people are having a drink, then you probably need to not.
We promote the fact of you do not have to drink.
Yeah.
You could drink tea, coffee, water, alcohol, home brew, whatever. But unfortunately, we will not be moderating anything there. And my view is clear that we are not here to babysit.
Yeah.
And it is a clear with the pub that
we do try and moderate our language before 10.
Yeah.
But after 10, all bets are off you.
After 10, by that point, I've given up trying to say bits.
Like,
so the pub
like herding cats.
Yeah. The pub
And I think again, if people want something that's more moderated, they're more than welcome to set it up and run it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the point.
You know, your pub, your rules, lads. Frankly,
it's my pub. If you don't like it, get out of your pub. I am also very blunt at saying that, but the pub is open to everybody. We don't just all talk about radio. We spend more time possibly mocking people who are doing radio during it.
Vic and I get told off for doing radio things.
We kick them out and into a breakout room, yeah.
But it is always welcome. No matter, we don't care about what license you've got. Even if you don't hold a license, you are welcome.
Yeah.
We just, because there's a few people we know who've joined who are not licensed, and we don't care.
We had one member who didn't know that they could join, and it was only after they were licensed. It's like, I didn't know. So it's like, if you're a member on the community, it doesn't matter what license you hold, even if you don't hold a license, you can join pub night. It's
Zoom. You can join in everything. You just can't press the PTT.
Yeah.
On a radio. That's
just making sure that people are aware now that we've said it as well. So
yeah, that's all I'm going to say on it. I'm going back to deal with something else.
Awesome. Simon, it sounded like you had something coming up.
Yeah, so a few of you will know this. One of the things I wanted to do to kind of promote some of the things that have been going on to get us all talking to each other was to organise a contest, and the air quotes are deliberate. So we're going to have a worked all OARC contest, the goal of which is just find another community member and have a QSO with them. For the people who really, really have OCD and have to get numbers, you can get lots and lots of numbers and try and work all the members. But we're going to try and make it a little bit more imaginative. So the prizes are going to be not necessarily just for quantity of QSOs, but innovation is something I'm really interested in, particularly the more obtuse methods of making a QSO. So people, doing MIDI over RTTY over satellites probably get very, very high marks. Transmitting off strange objects will also achieve very high marks. So I've written a little proposal and the link's somewhere, and I'll probably repost it in the next couple of days. But the idea was over June, July and August, so while people are travelling as well, there's an opportunity for you to have a QSO with another member of the community in whatever format that is, and you can do it on CB, I don't care. I've got a little Google form you can register it on, so a little bit like SOTA, it's on your own trust. You just tell me what the time was, who you spoke to, what band and mode, and there's a little bit of free text for you to tell me what you actually did. And we'll keep some leaderboards and we'll have some statistics and we'll tell some stories, and that's it. It's not going to be like an RSGB thing where I'm, going to be running web SDRs and listening in with none of that nonsense.
Can I ring you on the mobile then?
Say again, Vic?
Can I ring you on the mobile?
So if you read the rules, it can be any part of the electromagnetic spectrum, providing it's something we all deem to be radio, not proper radio. But, if you find some obtuse way of doing this, Vic, that involves a mobile phone, providing some part of its radio, works for me. If any two members of the community find a way to talk using radio, that's valid.
You say talk, you mean communicate, yes?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, very good point. I mean communicate.
I did put semaphore as a suggestion, but you probably need ATV for that.
Yeah,
and semaphore is perfectly valid because remember, visual light is part of the EMC spectrum.
Yeah, very much is. Very much. And in fact, the more innovative and obtuse you get, the more I'm going to be pleased and more likely to award you a prize. And again, it's intended to provoke a bit of fun and for people to try things. So, if you've never tried satellites, it's an urge to go and try some satellites. If you've never gone up a hill to do SOTA, Mark's got his SOTA activity day. I just want people to talk and play radio. I think Vic and I when things get a little heated in the discussion forums, both of us will just say, why don't we just go play some radio? That's what this community is about, right? So there are some rules, and I'll set those out. But there's a Google form. You put your QSO in there, and I'll do some leaderboards and stuff. But it's over the summer months, so if people are traveling, there's an opportunity to work in other places. Equally, those people who aren't based in the UK, and I know a lot of us are in the UK, it gives some of our I use the word foreign, and I don't mean foreign, people who aren't based in the UK have also got an opportunity on HF and other modes.
Non-UK members.
Yeah, distance is also a factor. So there's lots of opportunity there, and I know a few people have got a few ideas about what they want to do. I'm here to encourage and facilitate as much as I can. I don't think we're going to have like a special channel for this, because I think we've got enough places to talk about arranging QSOs. But I'll probably post something in Lounge and say, if anybody has a rules query or something, just ping me, and we'll probably do it that way.
Can I suggest Lounge 2, because it
tends to be less busy, right? Yeah.
Just push them to Lounge 2 for now.
I mean, if it starts generating a lot of heat and light, then maybe we do a channel then. But I don't want to add more channels, because we've got lots of places for people to talk about organising QSOs. We don't need another channel for it.
It could be, yeah, but it kind of depends how crazy you want. Because if it had a pub, so right now we've got Saturday as a temporary channel.
Yeah.
Well, it could be a temporary channel, because I quite like the idea of doing like Chinese whispers with SSTV.
But we've got a channel to talk about that. What I don't want to do is divert all the great stuff that goes on into this. I want this just to be something on the side, because if you look in HF on any given day, there's loads of people organising skeds and doing stuff. I kind of want that to carry on. I just want, there's a place if you've got a question about it, if you see what I mean.
It's a way of adding a goal, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Rather than replacing any of that activity, it's just another thing. Oh, I'll log that as well, because I spoke to Tom and we did it, this weird thing.
Yeah.
That's what it's meant to be, rather than it's not a goal in itself. It's just something on the side that, and it'll give us some good stories to talk about as well, because some people will do some interesting stuff.
That'd be cool. You'll have to let us know what you want for presents. For presents.
Prizes.
For prizes. Yeah, I mean, again, I'm going to leave that. I think I'll do it when I do the covering note for this. I think, again, I'm happy that people nominate categories and prizes. If someone's got a great idea for something that should attract a prize, and again, I don't think we're talking big bucks here, but, give somebody a Martin Lynch.
It'd be interesting to see if someone could do something interesting over our SIP network.
Yeah,
I know it won't be directly radio, but I mean, I don't know if anyone's spotted, we've got a few mystery numbers where you can phone up and get SSTV over SIP network.
Yeah, exactly.
SSTV. Speaking of Spencer's, I said what the numbers were at the end of the year. Just FYI, that's our current balance. So everyone is aware of it, just because that's one thing I have to do whenever we have this evening.
And just for those that might be listening, can you just read it out?
Yeah, 245826. Yeah.
Have to think about our people who may not be able to watch it in theory.
Yeah, so it's 150. So our operating costs remain about £250 a year. So if we stopped charging a £5 for training and no one gave us any money ever again, we can operate for 10 years without needing funding. So,
amazing.
That sounds a lot better than most other clubs could actually say.
And it's
at this point, we shouldn't mention the word inflation, should we?
That's a good point.
Oh, Mike's got a question.
Go for it, Mike. Oh, thank you, mate. He's got his hand up.
Connie.
Was, and by the way, I did send a Discord message to the person that was going to help me with the thing there. The question I have for y'all, I'm a member of a club as well, and everything. What is the do y'all have bylaws and dues and things like that? You did say it's a I forget what you called it.
Community.
Yeah, it's more of a community oriented club.
When you joined, you theoretically agreed to the constitution, which published on the website oarc.uk,
Mm-hmm.
and it
All
defines
right.
how we operate.
I've put the
Okay.
2 links in the chat. So there's one that's a Google Doc and one that's on the wiki. They
And-
should be
Okay.
identical.
Yeah, essentially, anyone who joins as a member,
Okay.
and
Okay.
anyone who is a member who's been around for 30 days can become a community representative. A community
Okay.
representative doesn't do anything.
Okay.
They facilitate stuff. Anyone who wants to propose an idea, like Simon's suggestion for
Mhm.
the upcoming activities, anybody can put that idea forwards, and
Okay.
it's a vote. There is a decision-making process, which is either no one complains and it just goes ahead, or it goes to a
Okay.
vote. Everyone on the Discord server has a vote,
Mm-hmm.
and decisions are made on that basis. The only
Okay.
time is where things are a bit broke on the legal side is when it comes to
Mhm.
liabilities we have to others. So we're an unincorporated association, which means that everyone is legally liable as individuals. So if I do something, I'm liable for it, not the OARC. So if
Mhm.
Simon sets something up and something goes horribly wrong, on Simon's head be it.
Like data protection, for instance.
Yeah. We do have
Yes.
public liability insurance for events,
Mhm.
but data
Mhm.
protection would be on his head. And another one of those liabilities is around finance. So Stu and I have the contracts on the finance. So we have certain responsibilities. But if we do something that the community doesn't agree with, the resolution to that is standing down and passing those liabilities, not we decide what happens. So it's always community, not committee.
Okay. Okay.
Bit different.
There is
Definitely
one-
a different one.
I think
There
that's
is
our
one
strength
rule.
as a club, community, sorry.
There is
I-
one rule. There
Mhm.
is no stupid questions.
There's one rule, and it's not suitable for YouTube. Don't be a.
It's the unwritten rule, Ewan. We don't write it down, but we do mention it. It's like,
Yeah,
there are no stupid questions, but you may get a stupid answer.
I suppose that there is one point here, which is that a lot of our understanding of the Constitution, as you just posted it, is very much linked around British rules and law. So the things you've spoken about, incorporation and all of these things, I think are very UK based, and we have quite a large UK membership, but there are many people from abroad as well.
Yeah.
So what would the future possibly look like if we get more people from different countries, or if people want to set up their own branches in different countries? I'll stop there and let you go on.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's really easy. It's up to them. If someone comes along and proposes to the community that they'd like to set up elements that are specifically targeting their geographic region, then no one in the community is going to argue against it, and they'll have to make sure the appropriate things are in place because it's up to them.
That's a great answer to a leading question.
I mean, it is. We do it with train. It's like, for example, with the training courses, I put forward the training with a few other people, and the community accepted it, and off we went, and we do it. And it's the same with everything. Same with the foreign. There's lots of support groups for the US, but maybe within Europe especially, there are quite a few countries where amateur radio is in a similar place as it was in the UK a few years ago, where there's one exam a year and it's a full exam and it's a blah blah, and there's local clubs and they're shrinking. If someone from another country wanted to take a lead, they'd get all the community reps are there to support them in progressing their ideas. That's the point of the community reps, not to make decisions, but to help them try and progress their ideas.
Cool.
Talking of the ideas, whatever happened to the to that project, the SDR project, blah 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 thing? The boards that we didn't buy because there were copyright issues.
Oh, okay. So the person who was leading that isn't on the server anymore.
Oh, okay, so that just died, right?
Kind of.
Hmm.
We're incorporating that into the 12. There's elements of that which are being incorporated into the cadet, sea cadet, and scout training program that we've put together. And once that training has been developed, then we'll certainly make that more generally available. So yes and no. It didn't seem appropriate to continue it when the person who led it is no longer on the server.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Just I was curious. Like, where did we even take parts of it? We did take parts of it.
It's all here because we all contributed to it. The document's still on our drive.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the actual and a lot of it is being incorporated into the scout training program, just to show you here. So for example, week 3, using an SDR, finding an SDR, setting one up, what modes, explaining how to look up stations. We've learned a lot from it to help us. But if someone wants to pick it up and run with it, I can make the documents all available to people. I mean, I don't need to make them. They're all there still. They're exactly where they were.
Cool. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, when that person left, we did remove access. So
yeah,
I'll just say that. So
yeah, I kind of have to. That was so yeah. Anything else coming up? Anything? We've just had a load of stickers printed for something. What was that about?
I think that was Matthew. Matthew was doing something. I think they had to take to MF camp.
Yeah, I think it was for EMF.
Yeah, so promotion from there. We probably need to think about. There's 2 things coming up this year that I think we probably need to go to. One is they're having the Milton Keynes. What do they call it? The RSGB's event that they have in Milton Keynes every year. The annual conference.
The RSGB one, you mean?
Yeah.
The RSGB, it's like AGM, isn't it?
Yeah. They've got their annual convention.
Yeah, the convention. Sorry, yeah, that's the one.
Yeah,
it's only up the road from me.
Yeah, it used to be the HF convention, but it's just the RSGB convention, isn't it?
I was thinking of getting a load of promotional stuff for the training done, and basically running a stall at that's asking them about putting the stand down there, promoting all the training and all the stuff that we do. I can't imagine if they've given us a trophy this year that they can be massively against it. But I just wanted to see what people thought, because obviously I'm in Milton Keynes.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah,
Can't do any harm, can it?
Do you not think it might be worth contacting them and asking if you can do a little talk?
I had thought that, but that means work. It's just like,
well, yeah.
I mean, I do. I mean, the most appropriate way would be for us to do it online.
Yeah, but that's the whole point of the convention. Is it's a person to person thing.
Maybe we do. Maybe we have me there physically and a couple of people on Zoom, just to be interesting.
I mean, that leads me to thinking about other events, because there's the national, isn't there, as well at Newark and things like that.
So that's one where we're planning on potentially having a table.
Again, if you can get a table down there and a few guys set up, and perhaps some of the local representatives, those of us that are more local out in the areas that are around, could perhaps maybe see about getting stalls set up with a couple of 3 of us at some of the smaller rallies as well.
So Newark, which is in October, we were definitely planning on hiring a table just for self-promotion, and also that people who wanted to attend could run into someone, go to the table and get someone who will walk around with them and show them what's decent stuff. I think that's now going ahead for sure on the 14th and 15th of October. RSGB convention. And that's the week before it's the RSGB convention. That'd be a busy October. I think you're probably right, Stu.
We've missed one of the biggies at Blackpool, haven't we, as well?
Yeah, kind of.
I think that there is quite honestly, if anybody, but again, I mean, I think, I'm speaking here for the club, but the community, but if anybody wants to do it, then don't put it all on me or Francis particularly. I mean, I only suggested Francis because he lives in Milton Keynes and it's just up the road from me in Great Hallwood, which is about 2 miles away. But I won't be living here then, so you can't put it on me. But yeah, I mean, anybody's welcome to go and do whatever they like.
I have a ponder. I'm happy. I mean, I don't care. My day job, I stand in front of people all the time and talk rubbish. Yeah, it's fine. Well, yeah, I'll ponder. I'll have a decision by the next community night. How about that? I'll make it.
Well, I mean, if not, find someone else who's local who might want to help you out as well.
Yeah.
I mean, even if it were just somebody turning up at the local events with an handful of flyers and walking around and saying, "Here, guys, what do you think of this?" You know what I mean?
But one thing we definitely need to do this month is get these flyers produced because we've got a nod from the RSGB to put them in the National Radio Centre in Bletchley Park, which is where people come visit.
And don't forget, if you go to one of the conventions or something, make sure you get a load of merch so that you can just wear your OARC t-shirt and that with the sign on it.
Probably do. We probably need to. How would people feel in principle if we spent like a couple of hundred producing flyers and take little cards to promote?
I think that'd be well worth it.
And we could.
I don't think it's an issue, but I think with our rules, we do have to put it to the vote, though.
Oh yeah, no, we always always do. But as always, sound everyone out.
I don't think there'll be any issues.
No,
it'd be money well spent. It gets the word out. It's an easy way of doing it, and and then anybody can, you can send an envelope full of flyers to anybody wherever they are in the whole world for them to wander around and hand out. It's very easy, isn't it?
I don't mind having flyers at this house. And I don't mind whacking a bit of post out because that's something I can just. Maybe we give ourselves. Maybe the proposal is that we set aside £300 for promotional material for the next 12 months, and that's the proposal that gets signed off, and then that will give us the flexibility to just pull off.
Can I suggest also with that the leaflet that we have on the wiki that someone I found on Twitter? Can we get some versions of that printed so we can send them out to people if they want to go do SOTAs and things? Have them in a nice sort of glossy colour thing.
Yeah, I mean,
that makes sense.
Yeah. But just I think if we propose, is 300 going to be enough for like leaflets and postage?
I don't think it will be. I think it'd probably be near 500.
I would say overestimate, and then if you I mean, that's still only what, a fifth of our whole budget at the moment.
Well, you've got to remember, so the training money, whatever's left from training, but whatever's left from the training expenditure goes into the central budget. And each time we do a training course, we raise about 250 quid. And to be honest, about 200 of that ends up straight into the pot every time because we've got very minimal training costs. So yeah,
I think 500 is probably a more realistic budget to work with.
Maybe we propose that and we track it on a spreadsheet that's visible to everyone.
Perfect.
But that's a proposal. If we'd like to give a general approval for the community representatives and activity leads. No, community representatives, I think.
I mean, just going back to the funding thing, is there no option for people to, obviously I know you raise your money through training, but is there no option for people to say, you know what, I really, really like what these guys are doing and I really want to help out. Here's 10 quid.
Yeah,
no, they do that
on the website.
Right, I've not seen it. That's all. I haven't
Yeah.
seen it. That's all.
Honestly, when people have joined the server, they never go back to the website.
Ah, there it is.
Literally the third link. I think Mike's had his hand up a while as well, by the way, Francis.
And Mike, please just there's no we're all equals. Just speak up.
Shout.
Oh yeah, I'm so used to having to have my hand up in board meetings, so I apologize for that. Yeah, I'm a member of several organizations, and they all have like very organized boards and things like that. Because being with a special education oriented organization, and but the question I had for you guys is there any way, I know this is kind of out of the realm, but would you mind sending me some leaflets on your organization so that I can get them distributed at our local Hamfest in Alabama?
It certainly can. I think the question is, we need to think about how we present this, because everything that we're promoting on the leaflets is about the UK training program mostly.
Could we even just get? Could we even, if we get the budget agreed?
Yeah.
Could we even just send some, order some stickers in America to be printed to send to Mike?
Yeah,
that would work.
Enough.
The other thing I think we should think about, Francis, is non-ham events as well. I know we've talked about adjacent hobbies and spaces, maker fairs and things like that, about trying to get out into some of those to try and bring some non-traditional radio people in.
So I think we need to do this once we've got the budget signed off. Is in MK we've got Bletchley Park, which is the RSGB's home for the computer museum, but we also have the National Museum of Computing, which is where the code breaking was done, and it hosts lots of things. It currently hosts the Milton Keynes Club, but it also hosts Raspberry Pi events. They rebuild BBC Micros all the time, and they're happy enough for us to put flyers there. So that's two locations here. But if people, I know some people are in the community attend maker clubs. And again, that seems like if I send 50 out to whoever's got a local maker group that they know would be happy for them to.
Yeah. There's a big 2-page article in Magpie about the Portsdown amateur TV receiver this month as well. So there's crossover into that space all the time.
Yeah.
I think we should ruthlessly exploit it.
Yeah, let's get the pennies aside.
The other thing is, if there was an event that I was going to soon with, say, 2,500 geeks in the field, I might be able to take a few stickers as well.
Yeah, yeah. Let's get the budget set aside.
And then we can do whatever. Yeah, then we can do useful things with it, right?
Yeah. Then we can prioritize. Then we can have a look at what we want to do, and we can prioritize our spend accordingly.
The radio convention that I'm speaking of is going to be August 20th and 21st.
Okay. It's plausible, because once an idea has been proposed formally, there has to be an objection made within 72 hours. Otherwise, the idea is passed and we can just get on with stuff. It's a pretty fast system when it comes to approval, fortunately.
Okay.
I was thinking, Francis, if you're going to spend some money on some material for taking with you to different places, those kind of pop-up things to kind of roll back into this aluminium.
Yeah.
Yeah, these guys are really, really handy, because
the idea was if we spend if we have 500, maybe this would, I think the purchase of one of those would probably be separate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're 75 quid a pop. I was
how much, Tom?
Club last week.
Sorry, how much?
£75.
Yeah. We could probably do that separately if it's specifically for a rally, especially if I do this talk at the RSGB.
The only reason I'm mentioning this because they're really, really handy. There's no faff with them. It's like you just roll it back, put it in the car.
No, I've used them professionally. My work seems to be obsessed with, if you come up with a new initiative, it needs a pull-up board. I don't know why.
Excellent. Just take a spray and just do the old initiatives, just think over them.
Or at least get us a discount through them.
Well, no, I suspect they know someone. It's public sector, so there's no discount to be had there. It's if you want to pay premium rates.
I wonder what the charge is to mail things from the UK to the US.
We'd have it printed locally.
No, what we do is we get it printed near you and just sent to your home address.
So we keep our funds in PayPal by majority. So we just find people who will accept PayPal payment and send it locally. We've done that with a few things.
I think moo.com do US printing.
Yeah.
So not that.
We need to work out, because I think we could very quickly. I think there's another catch-up meeting between a few people who are willing to help to kind of work out what we're doing, because we could very easily burn through it very quickly.
Also, we're still missing a sticker design. Just saying. So.
And the other question I had for you guys, how many, and I this is probably going out of your realm again, but how many special needs amateur radio operators do you have currently in the UK right now? That you know,
hundreds.
We as a group, we wouldn't keep stats on that because we don't deliberately keep a membership list.
Okay.
So that's part of our GDPR rules and things. We just decided we're not going to keep a list anywhere, other than if you sign up to the SIP, your name gets added to a list, and that's about it.
Oh, okay.
Or the map where you add yourself, but we don't keep that sort of information.
Okay.
I believe that the RSGB do. No, they don't even ask.
The only place that might keep any information like that is the.
They've done a demographic survey. I'll drop the link, but it was 2013. They did one a long time ago.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was going to
wow.
say the charity that we did the raffle for a few years ago.
AIBC.
They deal with people. It's sort of blind and
yes
things and people with disabilities. But
I think the thing is, I honestly
again they wouldn't necessarily keep membership numbers. So.
No. There's a bit. I think there's accommodating disabilities is so ingrained in British culture that I don't think we massively, outside of considering diversity in a broader STEM category, I don't think we do it. So on the side, I do exams for the RSGB as an invigilator, and I can't give you a number because I didn't record.
We've definitely had some go through our training.
Oh,
on our
okay.
700.
Well, I was going to say the Disability Discrimination Act it's just ingrained now, isn't it? You just accommodate people.
Equality Act,
right?
The equality,
yeah.
So there's pretty standard. If there's any learning disability, or if there's any disability which causes like dyslexia, dyspraxia, any even autism is a reason for reasonable adjustments, which typically tend to take the form of an increase in time allowed, the provision of a reader or a writer, depending on the candidate.
Right.
There are different exams available as well. And for example, we've got so people just have to mention it. When it comes to formal processes, it's pretty good in the UK, but we don't capture the metrics because of the same reason.
One of the things I would say though is actually in the UK we are awful at disabilities. That the exam is very black and white, and the RSGB is an absolute nightmare. I've been through it, and when they say we're pretty good, no, we are shockingly bad. We are discriminatory, and I've actually had to have this out with the RSGB, and have looked at escalation with Ofcom over their policy. There is certain regional adjustments, but if you do not fit in with them adjustments, there's no chance for you to progress forward.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's whatever adjustments your GP is willing to sign off.
If you can't do maths, you're screwed. Don't bother with your license.
Jeez.
It's any adjustments that a medical professional is willing to say needs.
Right.
Actually, with regards to the maths in even the advanced exam, there was a video produced by a local club of a talk they had, where in theory, and I'm not going to say this is 100% guaranteed, but even if you weren't good at maths, there is a good chance you could still pass the exams if you studied everything else.
Oh wow!
But it's
I did say a good chance. I'm not going to say it's guaranteed. But he
unfortunately
the numbers a bit.
He's perfect in every situation, as clearly is the case.
Right.
As Mitchell's kind of 2 years AML's just kind of mentioned. But yeah, I think, yeah. I'd rather we spent time supporting people where it didn't work out, but generally, I do honestly believe that most times it does work out.
And I have said to Mitchell that when he's ready, we'll go through it one-to-one if necessary.
It is one of those I've first-hand experience as someone who's not in a club, went at it on my own. That's the view I got, and basically it nearly turned into I was going to go after Ofcom because I deal with them professionally as well, and I know the department they were talking about. I actually felt the RSGB had not actually done anything, and
there's so many things with the actual entire examination and assessment process which aren't optimal for everyone. I mean, obviously, in your situation, it's a barrier.
My situation will vary a little bit.
Yeah.
But they offered, I could have had a reader, I could have had different colour paper. Unfortunately, neither would have been the solution. So, in most cases, there are members who are dyslexic and have progressed. But if you suffer any sort of number problem, we are certainly bad over here.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm dyscalculic, and I'm not looking forward to the full exam. It's going to be difficult for me, very difficult.
Well, the argument is often, which as Paula said, is that you can pass the exam with that being almost a crippling weakness to your ability. But there's also arguments to be made that the HAROC equivalent for the what does HAROC stand for? Harmonized Amateur Radio Examination.
Yeah, Harmonized Amateur Radio Certificate, something like that.
The actual level that you need to achieve that is lower than what our full is. So debate as to, well, if this is an international standard which allows people to obtain a full, why are we requiring people to demonstrate they can go above and beyond it? It's there are many messes all over. It's I
think that's why our training is slightly different from the old school way that it was delivered in certainly my club. Is we're willing to sit with you and make a plan with you. Every single one of those trainers on that full course will take you to one side in a room, so you're not embarrassed, and sit there and work out a way for you to pass. So Aaron, when you're ready, we'll take you and you will pass. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
Well, that's where I'm very concerned about, is that different locations, different countries have different views on people with disabilities. And it's, here in the US, it's very different. There's just so many things that, like when I took my test, it was very low key and everything. And my dad's been a ham for gosh knows how long. He's been, he was my mentor. He helped get me involved. But the big key that I see with this is that in the UK, they really got, just by listening to the conversations, it sounds like they've got issues with, I don't know how it is in the UK with the Americans for Disability Act, but it sounds to me like they're sort of half and half when it comes to the ADA.
So it's difficult. So we've got the equality. In fact, it's baked into our constitution. We've got something called the Equality Act 2010, which means that essentially you can't discriminate on someone based on 10 protected characteristics, of which disability is one. And disability isn't limited to physical disabilities. It's anything that impacts. I can't remember the exact definition, but it impacts your ability to live day in, day out. The problem is there are a lot of conversations that need to be had about not being able to demonstrate capability on that. Does that mean that you're not competent or capable of acting safely in delivering the full? And those conversations will differ massively depending on the individual. But those conversations take time to happen. The main thing is that there are mechanisms for them to happen. Unfortunately, they don't happen as smoothly as we want. But but no, it's definitely ingrained.
Just to add, Francis, there are certain things that can be done and there are certain things that can't be done. but there, you know, well, the one thing I can tell you is that in our instance, we will do as Owen says, we'll go out of our way to get you through that exam.
Yeah,
really, and we had people that we had like a person with acquired brain damage or something like this. I can't remember now, and that person passed the exam because we will you know, we will sit with you on one-to-one basis, and also our courses they're slightly they're slightly different than most of the preparations that people do for the exams. What we teach you in our courses is not it's not about the radio. It's about passing. It's about the passing the exam.
I mean, I'm conscious we're going way off community planning like topic, but one difference between the UK exam and the US exam. The US exam either relies on knowledge or recollection, because you can essentially recall a lot of the learning points because you get to see what the questions are essentially. Whereas in the UK, it's all about demonstrating your understanding of 10 examinable concepts. And there's often things that people with various disabilities struggle with, that you can basically just intentionally avoid those elements of the syllabus and focus on the things which
you're not Alan
be stronger with. But yeah, happy to continue the conversation, but I think we are kind of wandering a little bit from planning for the group.
So one thing maybe since we are back on the subject there, maybe about the Makers Night. So it's a new thing. We're just trying this out with Simon. So the idea behind that, Simon here, he disappeared. No, he's here. So the idea about it is that we make stuff. You know, everybody makes something at some stage, and then we kind of notice that we are hijacking other events just to talk about us making stuff. So we basically made a dedicated Zoom call once a month, maybe twice a month. You know, we'll see, about just making stuff. So and the format of it is, for those that don't know and maybe looking at this recording, that we basically do the elevator pitch for about 10 minutes, and then we hope that the conversation goes out of control a little bit, and people go ask questions and they wonder, you know, and meander in the subject or off the subject, and it gets us somewhere because we are trying to learn from one another, and maybe someone has something interesting to say, or someone knows better, or maybe someone does it professionally, you know, and they have a better insight into making stuff. So we had our first night this week, and there's something planned for next month as well. So, and the subjects are not gonna be all the exotic subjects as well, like, you know, making a vertical for a top band or something like this. But we are gonna cover subjects like, you know, simple things like soldering. You know, how do you go about soldering? You know, what do you buy? You know, how do you solder? You know, what's it all about? You know. Because we noticed that some people would like to do it, but they don't really know where to start, you know, and that could be as simple as that. And then we can do it for 10, 15 minutes, and then we can all go off and just have a conversation about something else.
And it's worth saying it's not meant to be an expert giving a presentation, because certainly it wasn't last night. It was me talking about the audio setup I'm building, and it's as much me testing my ideas out with people and getting feedback as anything else. So it's not meant to be a club presentation where someone sits up on high and gives a load of slides out. I basically talk through the audio setup I've got, all the problems I've had, and we just talk through, and we talked a lot about MIDI and audio transformers and all sorts of stuff. And it's just meant to be that kind of exchange of ideas and knowledge. But I think it was pretty well received, Vic. I think we'll do another one, right?
Yeah, we'll do another one, and maybe what we'll do is, I didn't think about it, but maybe what we'll do is we'll mix up the exotic subject versus a beginner subject, an exotic subject, you know.
Yeah, because we don't want it to be like a elitist is not a term, but it's not meant for experts. It's meant for everybody. So, making cables, soldering, some of those things is just as valid as, Simon's daft mixer that he can't figure out how to wire up.
On this topic, I know someone who's been soldering for a very long time, and they may be up for doing a presentation on it, a sort of beginner's guide to soldering.
Sure.
And they're set up to actually show the soldering live.
It would be nice. We're out of talks for now. I wasn't going to say because I was thinking that, but I wasn't going to say because we've got lots of activities coming up. But why not if someone can?
Yeah, we didn't want to keep the format of a talk because that was not the idea. The idea was that it's nearly like a half a live podcast, kind of a thing where we just go on the subject and off the subject, and then after an hour we just stop recording, and then we go for another 2 hours.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
I've got someone who might be able to do a sort of beginner's guide to soldering, but we could probably live question him and things as well.
No, well, anyone who's got any ideas for any talks, I was happy to share anything. That'd be a good one. I'm probably going to try and pester Mark into giving us a talk of how.
What I'll say is it won't be this sort of the next month or so. So it'll give me time to talk to him and things. So
yeah, fair enough.
You can put it on the wiki page, Paul, and then we can attend to it, in its own time.
Cool. Right. Any more? Have we managed to do an AGM and a community night in just over an hour?
Something like that.
And I'm going to suggest that we kind of haven't done these for a couple of months. I'm going to suggest that we switch to 2 months rather than monthly. It seems to be a good way to have a lot of conversation. So yeah, if everyone's happy with that, we'll just do it.
I think over the summer as well, people have got other commitments, haven't they, with holidays and stuff.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Well, but there's plenty of conversation, plenty of people talking to each other all the time. Cool. Right, yo. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming to both of the exciting events.
Cool.
Just a reminder, anyone who is watching who wants to be involved in the community as a community rep, it's not a decision maker. It's I can't say that word that begins with B. It's 5 letters long and ends with itch.
Gopher.
Gopher. If anyone, then more than welcome. And as always, if anyone wants to do something or has an idea or a suggestion that they're keen on, please post it in community development or message one of the community reps, because this is a place with 1,000 odd people probably got the same loads with the same interests as you, and we're keen to help you make it happen. Right, I'm going to hit stop. Please like, subscribe. I have to
YouTube viewers.
Yeah, I mean, don't. You don't have to. Press the bell. Yeah, that's it.
Ring the bell.
That bell. Whatever. Bye
Give us
bye.
a thumbs up.